Alrighty, today I will be running yank tanks. That's right, a yank tank special, as they say. I believe first game T30, then a Pershing, then a Rebel. Okay, so T34, I'm going to play it on Middleburg. And by reference to yank tanks, I've been thinking today, playing Blitz, about the game in general, not just post 5.5, but recently, and how I'm kind of almost being forced to play the game, which in a way is contrary to all education and good sense a lot of the time, because there's a certain way I want to play which is considered and careful and setting up shots, and then you get in the game and it's just chaotic at the moment. I think that's the best way of putting it. That's the most polite way of putting it. You can already see chat and just the banal crap that people are typing as you're driving. The IS-6 is calling everyone a noob, and the whole team is split. They've all played down, and you know, things are already messy. So any ideas you had about getting up here with a team and, you know, working your way systematically across these ridges and setting up your shots in your TD and all the rest of it have already gone out the window. Now, I'm fortunate in one respect, and that is this AMX is a total noob and has done nothing but fire heat at me. You know, don't get me wrong, I accept he's going to struggle to pen me. He'd maybe run the stock gun or something, but I mean, just get out of the way then. I mean, geez, just don't wait for me to drive up to you and put 480 alpha of love into your French tank. No, anyway. So I'm going to cap, because we're playing Supremacy, and I've noticed today that people aren't really bothering to actually play Supremacy, but I thought I might as well actually, you know, play the mode of battle as asked. And I'm going to push around on this Scorpion, and so far the team's up, right? Look at the counter at the top. Yep, they're up. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, all right, yeah. But I don't really know how they've managed it, to be quite honest. It's going to push this Scorpion, which is always a painful experience. But he needs to be cleared. He's been putting fire all day down into the city, and the noobs have been driving in front of it, so I'm going to deal with it. So, up comes the Scorpion. And I feel like going, if you finish, mate, because, you know, just bugger off. There you go. Done. So I face tugged the Scorpion, that was fun, and you look at it, and the team's now going to start to fold. I know it's unbelievable, but there you go. We were tanks up, and we're shortly about to see the usual kind of blitz fold. T34 is going to come after me. I'm going to have to brawl him. And this is tiresome. It's deeply tiresome. It's like, oh, jeez. I've just played this kind of uncivilized game of Blitz, whereby it's just been chaotic and frantic and all the rest of it. And if I'd died there with the T44, believe me, this SU down here is incapable of dealing with this Panther. He's dying in a ditch over there. Panther's dancing around him. This would be a loss, I tell you now. Fortunately, however, I snapshot him across the map. So I've done 2.9k, and I guess it was a thrilling battle, but it's not. You watch Bushka do a video on this tank about how you need to set your shots up and put it on a ridge and do this and that with it, and you know, the benefits of having a turret and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you go to kind of put this stuff in practice, and you're like, no, it's just a brawl, isn't it? It's just a chaotic brawl. So for all that, I suppose I mustn't grumble. I won. Second game's in the Pershing, and I bought the Pershing, and it was kind of I don't know, a vanilla American tank. I wasn't particularly inspired by it, but it just seemed a logical thing to do. I've been working up through the tech tree, so I bought a Pershing. And on paper it seems to have, I don't know, not a lot going for it, typical American vanilla tank. And then I started driving it, and it just seems to do so many things well. So we're playing Normandy, again new primacy. I prefer to push right. People seem obsessed with going down onto the beach and then having to drive uphill at other tanks, and I don't get it. But anyway, I tend to like to push right. There's two TDs. They're doing what seems to be the new meta for TDs on this map, which is to camp in that corner. You know, which is fair enough. They're driving TDs, whatever. So I'm going to push down here and give some help, because I've noticed that my buddy there is trying to fight a ridge line, and he's going to get pushed. So what I want to do with this tank is find a nice ridge, stick the gun over it, and just sort of farm nicely. And life for me is going well at the moment. I've bounced a shot into the KV4, but I want to flank. But no, this tiresome noob in a T34 prototype is now going to like just sit in front of me and trade. And I mean, again, I kind of want to play this game in a way where it's actually good. This isn't good gameplay. I mean, he's going to get wrecked. I'm just wiggling around in front of him, but it's tiresome. I mean, all the things that T54 can do, and of all of those, why? Anyway, the Panthers had 3 shots on me, and that's fine. I knew that he was gonna take some. But like I said, there I am in a situation whereby I want to play a considered game. I want to flank. I want a ridge fight. And I've got a T54 set in front of me, intent on trading. Now I can kind of do the funky stuff I've actually wanted to do all game. And, I can COD, I can use some skill, I can totally bugger up this guy's auto aim. He's gone, and I can now move down into the Panther. And you noticed on these games, I'm not complaining about my damage numbers or anything. I mean, the damage is really easy to come by these days, because the standard of gameplay is so ridiculously banal that you get situations like that. I expect at the end of the game I've probably put 900 damage or something into that T54 prop, but there you go. Nice little battle on Normandy, but like I said, just man. So there it is. I'll just put one final game in, which is in the Rebel, which is T110e5 translated. And I put this game in because this is how I would like Blitz to be at high tiers. And you know, there's been a lot of talk about education and 5.5 and all the rest of it. I'm not going to talk about that now. Those things are bleeding obvious to anyone except Russian developer, seemingly. Anyhow, this is how I would like the high tiers to be. So I'm going to push out leftish. I'm not going to go and camp bridge because that's not really to the strengths of this tank. It's not designed for that really. So I've come round and I've spotted up this IS-8. IS-8's troll as hell, so I got a bounce off him, but the second shot, believe me, is going in. It's fully aimed up. So 404 into him. There's a fight going on the bridge. It's a decent fight, by the way. I take a shot here, and actually I looked at the end of the game, and I've actually hit a T110e5, I think, like accidental clubbing kind of thing. I couldn't understand why it hadn't gone into the IS-7, it had actually gone into a T110. And then I've got an AMX and a WZ110, I think, over here. And these guys are pushing round. And I'm just going to sit here, and this is kind of how I want to play. I want to kind of consider what I do. I don't want to be rushed. I want to think about, you know, the other objects on the map and what tactics I want to deploy and what ammunition type I want to put into people, and all of these good things, and how I want to set my shots up. And like I said, in the previous 2 games which you saw, it's just there's a total inability in this game to almost sort of unlock the nuances that are in it, because it's a fantastic game, and it's so rare you get a game where you can sort of give and take and kind of do this kind of stuff. And I spotted up those two guys deluxe, so the AMX has gone, and I'm going to move across onto the WZ now, come round on him. And this would be cheeky shot into the IS-8 today. This would be pretty much the right time to push, right? You know, not at the expense of trading a ton of hit points off the WZ, because he's clearly knows what he's doing, but to help the team in order to get round the back and finish the readies off. So I'm just going to sit here, pump this guy for a bit of damage. I know that I've got him fully spotted up, so everyone knows where he is, and really should be thinking about kind of relocating in the near future, because if someone else doesn't get him, he knows I'm coming for him. But he's quite intent on sitting there, so I'm going to push him. And there we go. I think I can get a shot just into him from the rear. There we go. And my mates are going to polish him off. And now I can push around the back of the map and farm up the red team from behind. The IS-8 in our team, by the way, Tronautic, fair play to you, mate. You played really well in this game, especially in IS-8. Team have held like a boss. No one's YOLO'd. You know, the Reds haven't had a particularly bad game either. They've ended up in licorice all sorts down there. And come in from behind, farm these guys up. No worries at all. And there you go. I enjoyed that game. Maybe I'm a boring old fart, but I like games where I can work my way into them and pick my shots, and where my team hasn't folded within the first 2 minutes and I'm being called a noob because I haven't YOLO'd and sacrificed all my hit points, or I've had to YOLO a bloody T34 just in order to get a result. So there we go, 3.1k, and that's how I like to do it. And as said in previous two games, at the moment it's really hard to get decent gameplay, which is really quite painful. But there you go, and I've just flicking around on the final screen there because I was as surprised as the next man to have hit a T110e5. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed. See ya. Bye.